Right, and if I thought there was a chance to really step up and take leadership in these demonstrations, and I'm actually hearing, I'm following this, some of these events across the country. In some of them, there are libertarians in leadership roles, but even then, I'm hearing some horrific stories about them getting shouted out or shut out of the leadership when they're advocating for free markets, and it's really disturbing.
Oh, no. I never want to be in leadership role of this. You're right there. I don't want to be associated with these guys. When I'm the guy that just kind of showed up with a big armful of stuff, and it just kind of got passed out. And before the guys up at the front on the stage even realized it, I was already back home watching the coverage on TV. So, I mean, no. I understand, okay?
There you go, man.
Now, the thing is that I want to make sure that we, articulate this exactly what you just said and what we're talking about. Here's an idea. Now, we have been pushing the use of silver, and the silver calculator is an application you can get on your Droid and your iPhone and your BlackBerry and all this kind of stuff that we've been doing. And, what is this coin worth.info and all this kind of stuff. Now, what happens is we have a site. It's called libertytrade.net. where you put up whatever it's like a cross between eBay and Craigslist, and you can bid on stuff, or you can buy it then. You put it up, and you select the value of each denomination for whatever currency you want. How many grams of gold, how many grams of silver, how many ounces, how much this, how many Federal Reserve notes, whatever, okay? How many eggs, chickens, it doesn't matter. So you put that up there, and they have that. So I'm going like this. I go, what if, as a counter to all of this demand for, controls, and I go, what if we went ahead and had the Levolution, we start putting, because we're going to do this. I'm already doing it. I'm just telling you. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have an encouragement, get it all ready. We're working on it for about a month, because when Christmas comes, there's going to be that one thing you got to have, Elmo doll or some crap. And we're going to go ahead, and we may even take a loss. We go, you get a discount on this thing if you pay in silver. So we're going to encourage the Levolution. Any of the cool things they got an ATV they don't use. They got whiz bang, Ron Paul swag, whatever. We put it up, and we say, I take silver. Here's the application. Here's the download. This is how you determine this. Get big giant discount. I get silver. Silver, all over Craigslist, eBay, everything. I want silver. This is trade silver. You want to massage silver. You want to date me silver. You want to buy my motorcycle silver. So we're going to be pushing this and have a silver bomb on Craigslist and whatever other social media. That will be a day, probably in early December, in preparation for, get G.I. Joe, the Kung Fu grip or whatever for little Johnny. But the thing is that we're going to make a big, giant deal out of the opportunity to download the application that is sitting right there that does immediate conversion for anything you want in any denomination to silver. So we're going, okay, here we go. Now, the thing is they're screaming about Bank of America, and they're going on about they charge you $5 to use your debit card. And I mean, it's so much that it's on the Senate floor, and Obama. Obama is up there against next to George Stephanopoulos, sitting there going, we got Bank of America charging $5 a month to use their card. And I'm like, seriously? This is a presidential issue? So I'm going, all right. You guys want to talk about that and do all your Wall Street occupying and your move on Soros, whatever crap and stuff? Fine. You know what we're going to do? We're going to bypass all of that and start going the use of silver and everything that the whole Levolution starts putting up on all the different exchange sites like Craigslist. And we make this a big day doing that. We counter. Now, where would we market this? What would be one of the places that we promote this? What would be one of the places that we want to make sure that they get the information and they're aware of it? So, at these Occupy Wall Street things, you say, hey, man, go over here and see what's really going on. Go over here and see. So I love when they get big crowds like this for me. Man, everybody was saying the same thing about the Tea Party, Adam.
No, it's funny. A lot of people saw the video that I did, and they're like, "Why are you making fun of these people and demeaning them? You should be going out there and educating them." Well, it's like that's what I was doing.
That's exactly what you did.
People are saying, "Well, you should go pass out flyers." Like, no, I'm good at making YouTube videos that educate people that aren't even at those events, and it's an opportunity because you can educate people that are even not at those events, and you can take advantage of this. I mean, this is a national moment now. This is part of the national dialogue? What are these Occupy Wall Street events, or what are these occupation events? What's going on? Why are people angry? Because that angst is shared. It's legitimate. It's very broad, and there's really an opportunity to promote it. And if we can inject it into even more than just the events. I don't know how many people are down at Wall Street right now. Do you know, Ernie?
I have no idea. Like you say, I'm not really don't care. This is much more in the minds of people, across the country than any one place. And it's never been. Tea
parties have bigger real crowds, I think.
It's never being portrayed the way, it's corporate media. They're going to do what they want with it. Whether, Fox News loves this, CNN loves this, MSNBC loves it. They just use it to make whatever their point is going to be, and it's just like what you say, but that's not how I look at it. I saw the exact same thing with the Tea Party. It was the same thing. We knew it started off with this Ron Paul deal, but what they do is they go, ooh, look how much money he made in a day. Well, guess what? It's ours now. I'm going, yeah, right. Well, we knew 2 years ago, or heck, more than that, it was 2009, we tracked the Tea Party Express. Who did that? It was RNC. This goes this guy to this guy to this. It's RNC, okay? FY, buddy, RNC. And to have the Tea Party up there with CNN sponsoring the presidential debate within, a year after formulation, or 2 years, that just tells you everything you need to know right there, okay? So now I'm going, all right, let's go ahead. I want to play your answer to this guy. He's saying, to bring about social justice, of course. You need to use force for that. Let's go ahead and see
what you against another human being is always morally wrong, no matter what the excuse or any individual's judgment of what is good for the rest of society, and any initiation of force is inevitably detrimental to human happiness.
All right. I mean, I agree with that. It does do bad things sometimes. Force can be misapplied, but let me ask you this. When you have a wealthy, powerful class, how do you induce voluntary cooperation on them to maximize social justice?
You don't induce voluntary cooperation. You don't tolerate force or aggression in any form.
Well, so what's the solution then?
Raise the standard of morality in society to condemn all forms of initiation of force between human beings.
Well, you can set up a sort of ideological framework to encourage voluntary cooperation, but at the end of the day, the CEO of ExxonMobil or BP is just doing his job. He's still held accountable to a different set of obligations. You can have this private morality, and then you can have the obligations he has to deliver a profit to his shareholders. So how do you bridge that gap?
The only way he has an advantage in the market in the first place is because force is applied by government in his advantage to keep out competitors. If there was a true free market, he wouldn't have that advantage. He wouldn't have that ability to gain an economic advantage through the force or threat of force by others. The reason that he has an advantage in the first place is because if people try to compete and get around the regulators that he's bought off or already figured out a way to comply with because of his existing concentration of economic force, of financial wealth, then you don't have the ability to compete. He's not initiating force. It's the government that's initiating force. And if you say the government should initiate more force, the government should have more control, what you're saying is that your ideas are going to be imposed on other people by force. I'm saying no, it is unacceptable to ever do that. Persuasion and peaceful cooperation is the only sustainable way to get past these problems with society today.
Well, I mean, I obviously believe that my ideas are persuasive enough and beneficial enough to society that people should subscribe to them at the conclusions of their own reason and their own sense of right and wrong, but frankly, some people don't, and yes.
And at the end of the day, you will use force against those people.
I believe that it's the role of the government to use force.
So, whoa! Ding, 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 ding. So, I mean, this is such an effective video that you did to demonstrate exactly what the philosophy is and the mindset behind these people and what happens when libertarian, freedom-oriented philosophy goes head-to-head with them. Because, he's the poster child for this. I mean, these guys, he's wearing the right glasses, he's got the right haircut, he's got the right sideburns, he's the boy to put up front. They're hoping to get a microphone in his face. He's ready. He wants to do battle.
Oh yeah, he's people are saying that, Adam, you did a hatchet job on this protest, and you went out and did selective interviews, and it was like, no, this is really representative. This was actually the most eloquent person I could talk to who could represent this perspective. And I got to be honest, I do admire his method of engagement in the conversation, and that's huge. He was willing to engage and speak directly, and as opposed to the other woman in the video. I don't know. I guess your listeners will just have to watch it to go see. Who, when confronted with the facts, says, "I disagree with your facts," and then runs away.
Well, she was, she had a Harvard shirt on, so I imagine she went to Harvard. And
I don't think so. She said, well, I mean, it's possible, but
she was concerned about education prices.
Into Harvard? I mean, I think she's got a boyfriend at Harvard or something. Like, seriously, she said she was a junior in college and heavily in debt.
Which is what she was advocating, is take away my debt.
Yeah, and that's what's really sad about these protests, is that there's a huge element of this angst is, I'm being screwed, so don't give me the opportunity to help myself out. Don't give me the freedom to stand on my own 2 feet. Just coddle me. Just take care of me. Just get rid of my loans. Give me some more handouts. Get some more welfare going. Like that's the sick attitude behind this, and that's what needs to be understood about the mentality of most of these people.
Well, the one thing that she did articulate, and we heard a lot from, was the idea that she did not believe the statistics or the information that you were putting up for her to comment on. You would say, well, you're obviously here. She was big in support of Obama being in charge and doing whatever needs to be done, and Obama. But when you start talking about things about expansion of the war and a lot of other issues that they advocated for to get him elected, and all those promises were not kept, and you ask her for her opinion on that, her response is, well, I don't believe you. And I'm like, where the heck have you been?
Yeah, it's the depth of denial around people that are attached to Obama is disturbing. If these Wall Street protests, if the Occupy movement was really serious or really wanted to stand up for any legitimate sense of justice, they'd be calling for the impeachment of Obama. That would be one. I mean, maybe not the main demand, but that would be one of their demands, as opposed to saying, "Oh, Mr. Obama, please change your tune completely and stop being a tool of Wall Street and be a tool of the people now." They'd be calling for his impeachment, and I haven't heard a single voice out of any of these. I'm sure I'm missing some, but I'm not hearing anything. Anybody saying we got to impeach the president, and that's kind of disturbing.
Well, what do you think they should be advocating? I mean, assume that they're, socialist, liberal, we want the government to take care of us kind of, I mean, if they got what they wanted, the least damaging to everybody, if you go, okay, we can agree on this one thing, what might that be? I mean, end of the war, and what does Obama have to do with it?
There are a couple things that they could be calling for that I think libertarians would agree on that they could actually use to broaden their movement, which are, government shall not types of things, like, government shall not start preemptive wars or continue these illegal wars, bring the troops home. I think that's, something that people can get behind, because that's, we all pay for that. We all pay the price of that, every American. And now most conservatives are against the wars, and sadly it's mainly because Obama's the one behind them. But, that they can win conservatives over with that. How about an end to corporate bailouts? Most conservatives would get behind that too. We don't need bailouts for corporations. I mean, nobody's for that. No one in America is for too big to fail. No one supports the idea anymore. People want the too big to fail institutions to fail now, and it's about friggin' time. To say stop printing money, stop devaluing the currency, to take that power away from the government.